Well, hello, bakers. Hello, lardites, and you know who. So, 'tis the season, I suppose, and I woke up and there was the Easter egg of all Easter eggs in my suggestions. It was LBL at the Ben and Ethan apartment. Now, I had never seen this video, but I had heard of it. And basically, for what I can gather is, she was on one of the cruises, you know, because you can, when you're on SSI and welfare and Section 8 and food stamps and you get disability for your minor son because you've made him into a behavior case that he isn't. You just recorded him when he was yelling back at you. So you get SSI for him too. You know, just everybody can afford to go to cruises and have a timeshare. Yeah, BS. Her mother concealed all of these assets so she could get every freaking welfare option known to mankind. Infuriating, because all of the welfare that she has exploited and manipulated could have went to people who actually need it and deserve it. And it sickens me that she does this. But anyway, this was after her weight loss. Before she stretched her stomach back out. And she went on the cruise. And, you know, she thinks she's basically, you know, what's a Julie the cruise director from the Love Boat. And she hooked up with these gay men, her favorite thing on earth, because it's a safe way for her to be predatory towards men. And there's nothing that skeeves out a gay man more than a woman sexually oogling them up. But I think these gay guys assumed she was a lesbian and they were helping her come out of her big shell. Because she had that, you know, kind of curly, winged out hairdo. And these guys gave her a makeover and did that little clue cut on her. So I think that they were helping her to become a fully developed bull dyke. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory term. I admire them. I don't know if I've told you some of the things that I've seen bull dykes do, because you can call animal control all you want, okay? You can do that all you want. But I'm telling you that there is a big old collection of lesbians that have a network that if you let them know that an animal is being abused, oh yeah. You just let the word go, and all of a sudden things are getting taken care of, and that animal's gonna have a good home. Okay, so I have the most respect for bull dykes. I'm not saying that as a derogatory term. I am saying that as high admiration. But I think that's what they thought she was, because she keeps talking about this other girl in the salon that she wants to look just like, and so I think that they were like, oh, well, we'll hook her up with her. But we know that no, it's just some weird predatory thing that she has towards other people's bodies, whether they're female or male. So anyway, they did some horrible thing where they broke off all of her hair into it. It's a man's crew cut. I mean, they gave her a crew cut. There's no way around it. And then they took all the color out of it. So then, what do you know? She's sitting there telling me, oh yeah, well, what's that girl's name in the salon? Yeah, I want my hair just like hers, you know, flat on the sides and flipped out. Oh, you mean kind of like what I just described that you had before? So then she's like, well, we're going to go over there and I'm going to cook for them in exchange for all of the hair services and products that they're going to give me. Well, we all know she can't cook, okay? Which maybe what it explains happened at the top of her head. And then she's trying to act like they, you know, are these Parisian chefs that, so if they were these wonderful chefs that she keeps making out, then why would they have her come and cook for them? Because she can't cook. Okay, what does she do? Bring her token tilapia in a bag of frozen vegetables and put some salt on it and microwave it for them? I mean, come on. So she goes over there and she's like, well, I don't know if they're going to let me vlog from their home or not, or if they're going to be shy. So, of course, she goes over there and starts manhandling everything in their apartment. looking at her like, oh my God, because she puts then everything in somebody's domicile on the World Wide Web. She's like casing a house. Like, then everybody knows what you have in your home. That's not something that you want the World Wide Web to know. So she's sitting there manhandling everything, and she's got 14-year-old Brooks there with her. And she asks him to smile, and so he goes into where he starts acting spastic and, like he's having some kind of an attack, probably like she has him do for the film to get the disability for him. But she tells him to knock it off because it's rude. So anyway, she's got him, and they're talking about effing her head, and then she's like, well, let me just grab another little sip of this vodka. And she manhandles this freaking bottle of vodka and pours in half the freaking jar bottle. And then she saw them using a straw, so then she wants a straw. So then she talks about he was a bartender, like acting like he was one of New York's finest. He's like, yes. And where did you bartend? At the Outback. Okay, well, I did not know that meant that, that was like the top of the line bartender, but, and I guess the one was a cook there too. Well, that's like kind of like one way of cooking. It's not like, I don't know. So anyway, on that vernacular of her building them up to be these elitist chef and bartender, she gave herself the license to then go through their entire freezer and refrigerator and start showing everything that they have in the refrigerator and their ingredients and everything in the refrigerator and freezer and put it on the World Wide Web. Now, how rude can you be and not be paying any attention to the way that these people are receiving you and looking at you? And then the one starts talking about products and product line because she was starting to talk about that. So he proceeds to show a very expensive line, Kerastase, okay? I believe it's Kerastase with a big K, right? That shit's expensive. And the style, he had like the wholesale ones, okay? When we buy them, for the regular size, they're buku, right? Well, he had the distributor size, and so she waits and she kisses butt and talks about how much she likes his legs, and when she was getting her hair styled, she was looking at his legs, and she really likes strong legs on a man. And it's gross, it's invasive, it's inappropriate, but at least she wasn't talking about the other third leg that she usually does when she starts stalking the gay men. So anywho, she then proceeds, they're like, well, they say something about product, and she's like, well, can I have some? And they're like, well, what do you want? And she's like, well, is it too much to ask for? I want the whole line of it. And they're like, yeah, that's a little too much to ask for. Like, what the? You don't ask anybody for anything, you freaking weirdo. I don't care. She acts like because she came over and cooked for them, that then she's entitled, where we are, the entitled word with LBL. What do you know? She acts like she's entitled to them giving her gratis full line of Kerastase product. Are you freaking kidding me? You have to have, number one, for them to get their hands on that wholesale line, they have to show their business license, okay? So they can't just give that out, sell that. It still costs them, but it's an exclusivity with their license they can get. But this is how we see her turn into how she thinks that she's an expert in product lines and haircuts and all that. And all we see is what you do not want to do with your hair. Like, I had a horrible experience, y'all know, with my COVID, okay? And COVID took about 1/3 of my friggin' hair, and I'd been growing it out forever because it had fallen out twice before due to my Crohn's and actual interstitial cystitis and complications from that. And so my hair had fallen out twice. I'd went through extensions. I'd done everything else, and done, look, we won't even talk about all that, but I did product modeling. I've done extensive hair modeling and product modeling as I went through it. So I made the best of it as I was going through different lengths and issues with my hair. But I had finally gotten it to a point where I liked it long. Well, then freaking COVID struck me, and they're saying that 20% of the people who have COVID end up with this complication of it's called like TEE or something. It's like I don't know, it's TEE, something with your hair, and the stress of the illness on the body causes your hair to fall out. I think it's much more than 20% because I've had a lot of people come to me because I've been very open about what has happened to my hair, because I had another friend who was just freaking out and quiet, and she thought that she had, cancer or a thyroid disorder or something. She didn't know that it was COVID that was causing her hair to fall out. So anyway, a third of my freaking hair fell out, and it's, I'm 6 months out, and I'm to the point where it's not totally falling. I mean, we're talking falling out from the freaking roots, like male pattern baldness in your freaking hair. So anyway, I'm not happy about my hair and everything that it's went through, but I'm delicately trying to grow back the pieces and the pieces that fell out, trying to make it into side bang. But anyway, I am working with what is going on with my hair, and never has my hair looked the way that hers does in this horrible dry Brillo pad at its worst. And she thinks that's wonderful. She thinks that she has the most wonderful hair, and I don't get it. Like I say, I mean, I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, and people still compliment my hair even though they don't know what I'm going through personally as the struggle with, the hair loss and whatnot. People will still be like, oh my God, you have beautiful hair. And I don't think so. I'm like, what, this ass hair, horrible hair. But anyway, I don't know how she thinks she's so freaking beautiful, and how she thinks that her hairstyle is that what people aspire to have. I don't get it. But she thinks this is beautiful, and then she thinks that she deserves all these hair products for it and everything, and I just don't see it. It's not growing past the inch mark, and it bleaches it herself for I think it's like a 2-day process, because then she was telling these guys that, her haircut's so wonderful now. It has been 4 days since she shampooed it. And, the one stops in his track, he vomits a little bit in his mouth. Like, why aren't you washing your hair, ma'am? But, I don't see how she thinks it's so beautiful, because here we are years down the road, and she's still got this Brillo pad style, and wants others to think that she really knows what she's doing with hair, because she's had friends that have done hair for her and has gotten haircuts at places. Oh, when she worked as a receptionist for a hair place that couldn't even do an interview right, that was basically going bankrupt. So then she postulates herself to be a hair expert, just as a nail expert. And she could do nails if she wanted to. But this is interesting too, because then she hit on something that we've noticed lately, is that one of her stories now is that she was a teacher. And so she hit on this at the end of the video, that she went to an all-girls college, and it was called Leslie, and the gay guys were like, you went to a lesbian school? They were joking with her. She's like, no, it was Leslie, like the best teaching school in the whole United States, out of Brookline. And she said that it was an all-girls school, and they all had rainbow comforters, and how funny that was. And so I don't know if Carol was very, very ahead of the thought process with her, and was trying to develop her into where it looked like she was going to naturally fall. But, and then we see her when she goes onwards and becomes friends with the person who I won't mention right now, that she's in a fight with and then is in love with and whatnot, that they would go to these gay bars together, this other woman, and they both had these haircuts very similar to the kind of haircuts that women in those gay bars would have. And so she goes and hangs out like a lesbian, dresses like a lesbian, has the hairstyle like lesbians, has facial piercings like a lesbian, has tattoos like a lesbian, acts like a lesbian, but hates lesbians. I don't know. I don't get it. The enigma that is in LBL will never make sense. But I also do think that this is because they had a dog, a little chihuahua named Skillet. And this was 8 years ago. And so I think that's where some of her hyperactivity towards getting an animal and getting a flat animal and a chihuahua and all of that obsession really started too, because she copies everybody with everything. So like I say, this legendary Ben and Ethan Easter egg came up in my feed, and I just thought that I would share it with you and let you all know that it does exist. It is not a unicorn. It does exist. And so there. And I watched it for you, and I double timed it so it didn't infect my brain or anything. I had to take a cantaloupe scoop and scoop out my eyeballs or anything. But there you go. There you have it. And also, she did comment that she saw my my intro about how she's Boston's largest con artist, and she said that I gave her too much credit, and that she's now striving to be Tucson, Arizona's biggest con artist. So I play on words. I said largest for a freaking reason. Not the most prolific. Not anything like that. I said largest. I'm a funny one. So anyway, I hope you all have a great week, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I gave you a green screen just for it, so no polyps hanging from the screen this time. All right, love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.